next up is the Bundesliga return over the weekend. Nick, did you manage to catch it?
Do you know what? I think I picked probably the not the worst game of the week, and I don't want to really put that on it, but not the best game, shall we say? I watched the Bayern Union Berlin game. Now, for me, Bayern were fantastic, but it wasn't a contest for me.
Yeah.
It was very, very one-sided. It had that training ground element to it for me. It was, and it was always going to be difficult. I said in the last podcast that we did, I said, the only way for football to finish, if the seasons are going to finish in countries, is going to be behind closed doors. And I still stand by that's the only way. If they are going to finish the seasons, and I've got to get used to that there have been no fans there. But I did say this to somebody last week, that we were comparing the football in the UFC. And now for me, like the UFC, they've got short fights, 15 minutes or 25 minutes, depending on the number of rounds. It's quite a short space of time. And if you get an action-packed fight in the UFC, you kind of forget that there's no crowd there, because all the action is happening, inside the cage. And, and that's what you fixate on. With a game of football, for me, it's very different. It's a longer period of time. It's 90 minutes. And it was a struggle. It was without fans. It for me, it was a struggle to watch it. So, as I say, like for me, that game was, Bayern were very good. Union Berlin, they looked like they needed to kind of get up to speed. Maybe I think they play Hertha Berlin on Friday. It's a derby, so you're expecting them to going to be massively up for that. But in one element, it was good to see it back, and some people were saying, "Oh, it's brilliant to see football back." But I've also seen other people say, I didn't really enjoy it that much. Without the fans, it was tough. And that game for me, I kind of sit on that side. It was tough to watch without any fans.
I have to agree slightly with you as well. I didn't get that much enjoyment out of watching football be back, which was a strange one, because what's my life been without football for the last few months. But I don't know whether it was because it was the Bundesliga and it doesn't really matter to me, or that there was no atmosphere and no fan. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like I was enjoying watching it. But on the flip side of it, yes, it was quite nice to see some football back. But I don't think it was at the standard that it should have been, because I don't think they've had enough time to prepare. Yeah. Some of the lesser teams, I think Bayern Munich were always going to be, the better prepared teams, because you can put them against anyone without a pre-season. I think they'll perform to a relatively all right standard. Whereas some of the lower teams who maybe don't have that quality rely on their stamina and their engines. But I didn't feel like the quality was there. I think I have to accept that it's more that they have to get the season done rather than it's being done for our enjoyment. They can say it's for the morale, but it's all about money at the end of the day, isn't it? They just need to get the season finished.
Well, they do need to get the season. If they've selected, there's obviously so many leagues around the world, that have kind of finished full stop without the seasons finishing. You saw Scotland yesterday, was it? With Celtic winning the league. I don't know. I don't particularly mind European football. I quite enjoy watching it. If even if it's there's might be a Spanish game on, and or an Italian game, and it's not the best teams. I don't particularly mind watching it. I just think that in one essence, yes, it was nice to have live football. Something that you didn't know what was going to happen. But yeah, it just didn't, for me, tick all the boxes. Now, whether that comes in a few weeks, whether I get used to watching football without fans, with hearing every pass, I have to say as well, fair play to the commentators, because I think they did, in the game I watched, they did a very good job of, yes, it is their jobs, but they kind of helped a little bit having them there. Like, otherwise, for me, it was just a pure training session. You heard every pass, the thud of the pass, every shot, you could hear every shout, and it was just, I don't know. Maybe it was just strange to see. I said to my dad, he watched some of the games on Saturday, and I said to him, like, Did you enjoy it? And he said, yeah. He says, I really enjoyed watching it. So there was that side of it. He got used to there being no fans there very quickly, and he enjoyed his Saturday. I think he watched 2 or 3 of the games. So he was quite happy. And there's a lot of people on social media that were happy that there was some live football back, but then there was some on the other side as well who said, it's just it's not for me. But like you say, they have to get the seasons finished.
I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm still going to watch it. Well, enjoy is a strong word, but I'm still going to like watching live football. But it isn't the same, and I suppose we should expect it not to be the same because we're in a pandemic, and at least there's a little bit back. On the flip side, then in the Premier League, being scheduled for a June return. They're back in training as we speak today. There's been a few players. One of the more vocal ones was Troy Deeney. Danny Rose had a little bit to say as well, saying that that his 5-month-old son's got breathing problems. He's lost a lot of important people to him, and that not losing someone again is more important than a little bit of money in his back pocket. I doubt it's a little bit. I bet there's quite a bit. But can you see where footballers are coming from, the ones that don't want to come back?
100%. Go back to that same saying as I've said a few times already. They're only human. And you know what? I fully respect Troy Deeney, for doing that. Why would you want to put one of your family members in danger? You wouldn't. If that's me, my parents are key workers, right? So they've been going to work, but every day that they've come in from work, they go upstairs to get changed, they have a shower. That's how they usually go straight in the wash because we're just trying to do our bits and not get the virus. If you've got someone, his child has breathing problems, so he's in that kind of vulnerable category of he could catch it. And well, you're not going to want to go into an environment where, yes, they're going to be tested, but if one person gets it, how rapidly is that going to spread? And you could never forgive yourself if you went into an environment and then your family member got, ended up with the virus. You'd never forgive yourself. So 100% I respect Troy Deeney for saying what he's saying and refusing to go back. If he doesn't feel comfortable, he shouldn't be put in a position where he has to return. He should just be put in a position where people say to him, 100% respect your decision, Troy. That's absolutely fine.
I feel like in a lot of ways, footballers aren't, like you just said, they're not seen as human in terms of, and I know there's the argument, well, nurses and doctors have to go to work, so why can't footballers? But nurses and doctors are needed. And as much as this is a football channel, footballers are not needed at this moment in time. I'm happy that football is back, but we don't need football. We need doctors and nurses. We need the NHS. And I just feel, for me, it's all a little bit unnecessary. For me, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing here is people's health, people's well-being. That is the only thing that should be considered here. Like you say, football isn't necessarily needed. It has to go on the back burner. Sport as a whole. I get people are saying it's good for morale. To see something back, but we've not completely eradicated the virus. We've not got rid of it. Me personally, and again, people have a difference of opinion. For me, I still think that we should be in lockdown. I'm just one of those people though who likes to see when things like this happens. I like to see the number 0. So you've got 0 cases. The virus isn't affecting anybody. Then for me, that's when you come out of lockdown. You don't come out, for me, you don't come out of lockdown weeks weeks early with hundreds of cases still a day. That people, you've seen people congregating, trying to get to work, using public transport. Well, if one person's got it, unbeknownst to them, how quickly is that going to spread amongst other people? The football doesn't matter. What matters is the health and well-being of people, and that's the number one priority. So, I 100% respect Troy Deeney for saying, I'm not returning to training because, he has somebody within his household that, in his family that's at risk, and fair play to him.
There was I don't think they named the person who did it, but there was someone from Project Restart quite high up that said that footballers shouldn't be paid if they refuse to come back. And I've seen a few journalists and just people in general saying it as well. But it's for me, it always seems like it's easier for the people that don't have to do it to criticize, when in reality, journalists, people in Project Restart are all doing it from the comfort of their own homes. And I don't know, I just thought it was a bit of a lack of class to say that, because I understand that footballers get paid a lot of money, but that's their wage. We can't change that. And should footballers refuse to play, can they legally not pay a player because of that? Given the circumstances, I just feel like it's wrong.
It shouldn't even be a question. He's not refusing not to train because he can't be bothered.
Yeah, exactly.
We've never been through this before. He has a legitimate reason not to train. He is looking after the life of his son, right? So why shouldn't, if he says, look, I'm not training because I have somebody who is vulnerable in my family, then the club, the league, his teammates should all respect that and go, fair play to you, Troy, and we 100% agree with that. We're still going to pay you because it's a legitimate reason. The slogan at first was "Stay home, save lives." Well, technically, that's what he is still doing. Staying home, saving lives. Because, as I say, he could go back into society, back into training, and he could, one of the players, unbeknown to them, may have it. Somebody he passes in the street may have it, and if he he could take that home, and pass that on. He 100% has my support. He should 100% have everybody else's support, and 100% he should still be getting paid.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think it's just such a difficult situation, something that we've never faced, like you say, and there has to be an element of compassion for me. On the flip side of this again, there's been quite a lot of players breaking lockdown rules. Kyle Walker did it twice. Jack Grealish was drinking and driving as well, crashed his car. I think there was Moise Keane at Everton as well. Another one that seems to have come out was Callum Hudson-Odoi, arrested in the early hours of the morning. It's a potentially different case, so I'm not going to go into it on what he's alleged to have done, but it's never nice to see a footballer maybe going down the wrong path.
No, it's not. And it's like we said before, they're in the limelight. So these cases are going to be in the news. They're going to be splashed all over the newspapers because it is news, but there's not just them doing it,
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Society out there, when we were in lockdown where you could only go out for an hour's exercise a day, and you've got people congregating still, you see it as well on the news. They didn't just not just highlight footballers, they've highlighted just, other people in society. And it's crazy. It's, I don't know, there is a large percentage of people that's probably the same as this, but I don't see how it's hard to stay at home, and just go about your daily life. Yes, it's different and it's difficult staying, I want to be able to see my friends, I want to be able to see other members of my family, my extended family. But we can't at the moment. All right, they're saying that you can one member of your extended family, or a friend at a couple of meters distance still. But I'm still kind of sticking to the boundaries of that. I've not seen them. We're doing everything. We talk to our family via Skype, via Zoom, via phone calls. we're still doing everything as we were 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I don't know why it's difficult for people to not just stay indoors, and not just keep themselves to themselves, see the family, because there will come a time when you are allowed to go and see your mates. You are allowed to go back to kind of a normal life. But these people going out and doing these things are only slowing us down doing that. If everybody adhered to the rules and we saw that the virus was, the cases were going down every day, once as I say, once it gets to zero, and that's a sustained period of time, then they'll probably start looking at opening things back up to a bit more normal. So these people are slowing us down by doing it, but it's just pure stupidity. It's just pure stupid. And I know they've come out and apologized and stuff like that. And that, but again, what goes through your mind? Just follow the guidance. It's just not hard, basically, to sum up. It's just not difficult to follow the guidance, and I don't understand why people can't do it.